anchor who quit on air, and it is some of the most perplexing, and it's now on RT America, and it's great. But let's watch this quick.
Last night.
So basically, this is an RT anchor who's been worked for them for like 5 years, and then like the thing in Crimea kicked off, and the stuff she was talking about and reporting for RT, she found to be uncredible. They said she thought it was basically puffing up Vladimir Putin's image, and thought it was that she was spreading disinformation for the Russian government, and so she went off script and delivered this message.
Last night, RT made international headlines when one of our anchors went on the record and said Russian intervention in Crimea is wrong. And indeed, as a reporter on this network, I face many ethical and moral challenges, especially me personally, coming from a family whose my grandparents came here as refugees during the Hungarian Revolution, ironically to escape the Soviet forces. I have family on the opposite side, on my mother's side, that sees the daily grind of poverty. And I'm very lucky to have grown up here in the United States. I'm the daughter of a veteran. My partner is a physician at a military base where he sees every day the first-hand accounts of the ultimate prices that people pay for this country. And that is why personally I cannot be part of a network funded by the Russian government that whitewashes the actions of Putin. I'm proud to be an American and believe in disseminating the truth, and that is why, after this newscast, I'm resigning.
You know, I don't think that went over well with higher-ups. In fact, I believe afterward, RT had to release a statement, because obviously this caught like fire, and the statement was like, oh, she's senseless, she just she just wanted a publicity stunt, blah 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 blah. It was complete, just them. Honestly, they were snorting coke. They were just snorting it up. Really fucking funny. Anyway, back to the video.
So what is Russia Today? Russia Today is a Russian state-funded, federal tax-funded...
Interesting thing about the funding that comes from the Russian government. I think it was in 2012 when Putin actually made it illegal to reduce the amount of funds that went into Russia Today. And when you look at Russia Today's funding from the Russian government and the amount of funds they take in, when you look at the Russian economy and the sways and trouble it goes through, anytime the Russian government takes in less money or the Russian economy hits a bump in the road because of how much it's tied to oil prices, you'll get these projections about how Russia Today is going to get this much of a reduction in money. But what always ends up happening is no matter what the economic troubles Russia faces, they always seem to always increase the funding that Russia Today gets. Oh my gosh, I remember, I'd have to check, but a while ago, it was like 2010, 2011, it was like half of their funding came from the Russian government. It was like a sizable portion. I don't know if that's been reduced since then. I'd have to go look at some numbers for that. But the amount of funding they get continues to expand no matter the economic trouble the Russian state faces, which I think shows the interest the Russian government has in pushing this information, not only within Russia, because within Russia is only a certain section of the actual funding that is used and acquired by Russian Today, only a certain amount of it, a small. What do you think of my comments on Hedges, Martin, and Camp? Critical analysis information from wherever it comes from? Well, I think that you should always be critical of information, generally, no matter where it comes from. I just think from certain organizations you need to be more critical, right? More critical than usual. Like for example, if InfoWars if I was sent an article from InfoWars, I'm going to approach it a little bit differently than if it was an article from CNN. I'd be checking who the reporter is. I'd be checking if there's other sources reporting on this. I'd be doing a lot more than if it was a quick article on CNN. Like if I get a breaking news alert from CNN, I'm going to trust it a tiny bit more, or actually a lot more than I'm going to trust it from InfoWars. So I think it is important to see the backgrounds of where these organizations get their money and what their interest is when it comes to them maneuvering in the news space, in the information space. And I think a big part of Russia Today's motivation, definitely when it comes to foreign policy coverage, even more so when I think it comes to foreign policy coverage, is disinformation. Now, I will say Russia Today has provided some really good pieces, legitimately, specifically on American domestic issues. I have actually read a few articles from Russia Today that covers the domestic issue within prisons or within labor rights or within the immigration cases within the United States that are good pieces that I don't see covered in other places. The problem is, me being a foreign policy guy, it's hard for me to really, like, take the good with the bad when I see Russia Today just either not covering certain stories that I know would make certain funders of their pieces look bad, and, of course, the spreading of disinformation about Crimea, for example. You just read them for the lens. I mean, it's always... I think it's good to check out the lens. I mean, it's probably important to check out the lens of what InfoWars has to say, right? Probably... I mean, it would probably be important to read Der Spiegel, or, what was it called? What was that, let me look it up quick. What the fuck was that called? What was the German news publication? Let's see, news publication. It was... Fuck, what was it? Okay, one second. Der Stürmer, right? Like, I think it makes sense to read Der Stürmer to think what the Nazi regime has an opinion about a certain situation. But I do think if you're reading Der Stürmer, you probably shouldn't get your Jewish relations, like, thoughts from Der Stürmer, you know? Like, if I'm reading RT, maybe it's good to say, like, what does the Russian government think about this or that situation? Or, hey, once I checked all the facts on this story and it actually is true and nobody else is reporting it, it's kind of strange. But I'm probably not going to read it for my thoughts on Ukrainian politics, the Crimea, Syria, or really any foreign policy issue. You dodged a CIA Twitch ban gun? That's what you think, Pinkwug. Do you think we can trust CNN on foreign news? Probably more than RT. I think when it comes to CNN, it's reporter to reporter case basis. I think on most news publications, you should probably check who the reporter reporting on an issue is. Or you need to check the circumstances of what being covered. For example, if it's an opinion piece, no matter what news publication, you should see who the person is reporting it. For example, I was reading a foreign affairs article on Somalia before last stream, or it was Thursday or some stream. And I was reading this article on Somalia, and I was like, this is an interesting perspective. And I checked the article, and it was written by the former president of Somalia. So it made sense that they were so critical of the current administration, since they were the outgoing administration. Right? So obviously, it's not that any of those perspectives provided were not valuable, but it's probably a good thing to know who's saying this information to you. Right? Makes sense. For example, if you were to watch Tory News' stream, right? You would not want, if you were somebody who wanted to get an unbiased opinion on ponytails, you probably should not go to Tory News. He's going to give you a biased pro-ponytail position. If you wanted an unbiased opinion about ponytails, I don't know, go to, let me think. Who is an unbiased person you can go to about ponytails? Well, of course, me, because my bias is never prevalent. But I'm trying to think. Do we have any bald political streamers? I can't think of any bald political streamers at the moment. We must have bald political streamers. There has to be. Am I just blind? We have to have bald political streamers. Huh. I actually don't know if we do. When you see one of these like Putin dog or whatever. Putin dog. Let's look at Putin dog, right? Putin just feeding his doggo, right? Like these videos specifically kind of like choreated, like, I mean Putin does this on purpose, like, and that dog is barking a whole lot. The whole point of these is to make Putin just look like spectacular and wonderful. So they like put him next to a cute dog and put him next to like a bunch of reporters and just have him like do tricks with the dog. Or you'll have Putin, for example, Putin swimming. With dolphins. Wow. Or Putin just being cool. Just generally, the purpose of these, of course, is to not only, of course, I bet Putin enjoys doing these things. Like hanging out with dogs and fucking dolphins or whatever. But Putin on the back of horses. Yeah, Putin horseback riding. This is a very famous one. The purpose of these videos... Where is it? Where is it? Where is he horseback riding? I see the photos. Now, the purpose of these videos, ultimately, is to, I mean, it's pretty simple. He's doing, why is it taking me so long to explain it if it's pretty simple? I'm just keep telling you the words. The point is to kind of create this cult of personality around Putin to make him seem as badass, as cool, as amazing as possible. So that you can see this manly man standing up for Russia, standing up for the Russian people, in comparison to these weak leaders who don't do the horseback riding, who don't shoot guns and doesn't do all these badass things. It's meant to put him on this almost like next level of mythical like status. It's the same thing that the Kim family has done with their leaders for forever, where they make up these like fairy tales and bring them out and like say that with these photos next to horses and next to guns and artillery and all this to make them seem as badass as possible. Because when the government sees that the entire economy is basically tied to oil, that the entire country, if there was a worse enough oil plunge for a longer period of time, that they'd have to cut subsidies, the taxes might have to be raised, they might have to do this, they might have to do that, which are gonna hurt the people. They need something extra standing between Putin losing power and his party losing power and his establishment losing power. They need something more than just one economic crash away from collapse. And it's this kind of mystique that they create around him. This is an interesting one. This is basically where they proposed that Putin went diving for the first time over here. It was in Greece or somewhere. And the very first time when Putin went diving, he discovered ancient clay jars. The very first time. It's preposterous. It's preposterous, but that's the reason that they do this. Is this idea of creating this mythical status where you wouldn't dare get rid of Putin, you wouldn't dare challenge Putin, because Putin is the person who has these type of utterly like manly characteristics that stand up for Russia.
Abruptly had a little segment. The news story was that in America, some sort of restaurant was running a special offer and was offering a special Vladimir Putin Burger. That was basically like sort of a special offer to commemorate Putin's birthday. So apparently this restaurant in America is having a special Putin Burger for Putin's birthday special every single year. And Americans love it. Everybody's going out to eat the Putin Burger and everybody's having a great time. The issue is that though, that never actually happens. Basically what happened is that they literally went to a random burger restaurant somewhere in America, and what they did is that they printed out a fake flyer with like Putin's face on it, saying that this is, you know, a special Putin Burger. And essentially they put it up when they filmed it. They had some girl pretend like she's like, you know, she works at a restaurant or something to talk about it.
So this is Putin's birthday burger. So we started this tradition about 3 years ago because we feel like he's a significant political and historical personality. And it's about 68 ounces, which is 1,952 grams, the year that Putin was born, 1952.
They literally just ordered a massive burger and they filmed it and they said that, yeah, you know, this cool restaurant has this Putin Burger in it, and all Americans are loving it because Putin is the greatest president of all time, and all Americans want Putin to rule the world. What is this? What is this, dude? Funniest thing is that people actually tried to fact check and see if that restaurant really had such an offer, and it didn't. So this is just like the
thing that gets me about this story. Let me check. Let me see if I can Google this quick. RT Putin Burger. This is real. The Vladimir Putin birthday burger that never existed. Russian state media reports New York restaurant created special meal to honor president, but restaurant says otherwise. So what Russia Today reporters were like, damn, there doesn't seem to be a lot of reverence for Vladimir Putin in the United States. Not a lot of American Vladimir Putin burgers. So you just go to a random restaurant, smack this fake flyer on top of one of their menus and say, see, it's a Vladimir Putin burger. Just order a random burger on the menu. Just make shit up. The thing that gets me about the story is, did they actually think they'd get away with, like, nobody would check, nobody would see the story and be like, oh, I know that restaurant, I live a few blocks away, let me go see if I can get this burger. Like, the thing that gets me about this is not the fact that they lied. Of course RT lies. The thing is, they did just such a blatant lie, one that could be figured out so quickly, so easily, that it just doesn't make sense why they would do this route and not go with some other route. Anyway. A hamburger is not the sort of thing you would expect to spark an international disagreement, but the apparent creation of a special birthday burger for the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, has dragged a New York restaurant into an argument over what critics say is fake news from the Kremlin. Russian state media reported over the weekend that Lucy's Cantina Royale has produced a special spicy burger in honor of Putin's 65th birthday on Saturday. It was a shining example of how Putin is adored across the world, said Channel 1, the Kremlin's flagship television channel. It's not only foreign leaders that are wishing Russia's president happy birthday, but ordinary citizens too, and what is more, in extremely original ways. A waitress at Lucy's, a Mexican restaurant near Penn Stations in New York, told Russian state media that the 5-patty burger served with chicken sauce and salad weighs 1,952 grams, a reference to the year that Putin was born in Leningrad. Holy shit, they think so much thought went into this. We believe that Vladimir Putin is an outstanding politician and historical figure, said a barmaid identified as both Tarma and Tornina by various Russian media outlets. The video was produced by Rupli, a company owned by RT, the Kremlin-backed television channel. We decided to devote one day a year to Putin, said another barmaid, identified by state media as Darnia. TASS, a state-run news agency, cited a manager at Lucy's named Ted Bryant as saying Putin was the only world leader whose birthday the restaurant celebrated with a special burger. But there was a problem. The story was fake. When Alexander Kolov, a Russian journalist whose website exposes Russian propaganda, called the restaurant, a Lucy barmaid told them, this has nothing to do with us. A pro-Kremlin Twitter user then posted a recording of a telephone call to Lucy's, which a barmaid confirmed the Putin Burger promotion. When Kolov called back, the same woman said the burger had been on sale in the morning, and the man who told him the Russian state media story wasn't true was a trainee. She then hung up. The same woman said the burger had been on sale in the morning, and the man who told him the Russian media was untrue was a trainee. What the hell? However, there was no mention of the purported Putin Burger promotion on the restaurant website, and no sign of it on photographs posted to Lucy's Instagram on October 7th, the Russian president's birthday. Our restaurant has never celebrated Vladimir Putin's birthday in any way, shape, or form, and has never offered a Putin Burger. Sean Ryan, a spokesman for Lucy's Cantina Royale, told The Guardian, "What is this back and forth? Lucy's completely disavows the statement made in the video, which are false." As the barmaid featured in the state media report, apparently the same woman to whom Kovalev spoke, Ryan said, she does in fact work for us and she lied about filming a project for school. Ryan said he was speaking to the restaurant attorneys about the incident. Critics say the incident is a perfect example of Kremlin-sponsored fake news operatives. This whole ridiculous story betrays the deep insecurity of both Putin, his loyal media supporters. Could you imagine how fucking desperate you have to be to portray yourself as a powerful leader, that you send people from your news agency to other countries to plaster fake flyers on their on menus before ordering stuff off the menu and just saying, yeah, this is the... Could you imagine if I sent reporters overseas to over to, I don't know, fucking Ukraine, to put my face on a menu and say, this is the Dylan Burns burger. It's 2001 grams, you know, since he was born in, you know, 2001, and because they just love his Twitch channel so much. We just all love Dylan Burns TV here, so we decided to make March 3rd Dylan Burns Burger Day, you know, and just completely make the whole thing up and just assume that nobody would go check. March 3rd, let's go. Yeah, it's the best birthday. 3rd month, 3rd day. No one can beat it. No one can beat it. They crave Western attention and recognition so that they are prepared to resort to outright fakery to show that ordinary people in the West are in awe of the great Vladimir Putin. It's just really sad, really. Anna Belkin, RT's head of communication, said, "We have no reason to doubt the authenticity of the story." She cited the past quote from the Lucy Bar's manager, Ted Bryant, as proof that the story was true. "We do not and never have had a manager by that name," said Ryan, the restaurant spokesperson. We don't even know anybody by that name. They suck at lying, really. Confirming that Lucy's Cantina Royale was the subject of a hoax scene involving Vladimir Putin's birthday. Rupli did not respond to a request for comment. On Monday, it released a statement saying it had removed the report from its website because, upon further review, it did not meet the editorial standards. Womp womp. Oh, you want to know? Funny story about specifically Bashar al-Assad, Putin, and all these bombings is Tulsi Gabbard, a well-known, interesting character to say the least. Once she was talking about the war in Syria, and she was like talking about how bad it is that we dropped bombs, and it was like, wow, really sad, really emotional story. But then the footage she showed while doing this was of barrel bombs dropped by Bashar al-Assad. So she's complaining about us dropping bombs, and the bombs that are being dropped and shown on screen are of this fucktard right here, Bashar al-Assad. You know, I'm starting to think this Tulsi Gabbard person probably shouldn't be president. Russia Today airs bizarre anti-Semitic conspiracy theory about Hillary Clinton. RT, or Russia Today, the overseas propaganda network of Vladimir Putin, is not known for its fealty to reality or basic standards of journalism. As the New Republic and tablet contributor Michael Something has documented, whether it's attempting to obscure the mass murder of Syrian civilians by Russian ally Bashar al-Assad, featuring conspiracy theorists as experts. Ooh. Here's a good one. Do we all remember Partisan Girl? I think I've talked about Partisan Girl on stream before. Partisan Girl is someone who who's blocked me on Twitter, but is a huge supporter of Bashar al-Assad, and specifically the Syrian hurricanes, some proto-fascist type Syrian political party. I don't really want to get deep into it, but she's also believes and has propagated the conspiracy theorist that Antifa and BLM are both communist Jew plots, and that Lebanon, the explosion in Lebanon, was actually caused by Israel and America, and is also very close friends to David Duke, having come on his show 3 to 4 times, one of which talked about lies about Adolf Hitler. She has been on RT. Quite literally, the most disgusting people on the internet have been on RT. Before you know it, Keemstar will be their head of racial relations. Destiny will head HR. Kyle Kalinske will be the one. Will go. Never mind. Okay, I think I'm going a little overboard now. Jimmy Dore, that's another one. Is Partisan Girl a pseudonym? No. That is her thing she goes by. this person who has me blocked. She is an interesting individual, but also a complete piece of shit. Wow, people also search for Caleb Maupin and Nicholas J. Fuentes and David Duke. What a surprise! What a surprise! What a surprise! Wow, what a set of people to be associated with. Isn't that something? What a set of people to be associated with. Sorry, I need to call my Caleb Maupins, David Duke, and Nicholas J. Fuente. You know what? I don't know who this person in the middle is, but I have a weird feeling he isn't a nice guy. Claiming 9/11 was an inside job, suggesting the Rothschilds were behind the disappearance of the Malaysian Airlines flight, refusing to cover anti-gay violence in Russia. RT used a slick production value to sell Kremlin misinformation. But on Tuesday, it aired a segment on Hillary Clinton called Omni-Illuminati that was unhinged even by RT's exceedingly low standards. In it, anchor Lori Herrenfest claimed that Clinton was the Illuminati candidate and proved it by pointing to the logo on a technology company working with her campaign, which vaguely resembles the mythical group's symbol. Herrenfest then threw in some anti-Semitism for good measure, noting that the alleged Illuminati tech outlet's parent company has a Hebrew name. Not only do they have an Illuminati logo, they also have backers who speak Hebrew. Holy shit, that's so blatant. She looked fun. She's gonna fight the evil conspiring theys, isn't she? Jesus Christ.
If you have any doubt at all that Hillary Clinton is the Illuminati's candidate, then just take a look at this logo. That is the logo for a company called The Groundwork. It's a startup funded in part by none other than Eric Schmidt, the chairman of Google's new parent company, Alphabet.
You know what this also is?
A curd is a curd.
Who am I? $5. The Jews funded this, don't know.
It's also a fucking triangle. A shape that, you know, is very kind of famous. Oh, 1 second. Look, oh, there's a circle in my logo. Oh, that's pretty basic. Everybody knows circles. Nope. It's CIA. It's CIA. It's a CIA. Pepsi is CIA. Look, CIA, circle. Pepsi logo. Circle. Look. Look, folks, do I need to really connect the dots here for you? Do I really need to connect the dots here for you? Who am I? Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it, buddy. Do I need to? You can't see the difference. What a dumbass.
The Groundwork is one of Clinton's biggest technology vendors for her campaign. They help her with her data analytics and digital outreach. It's a company from Google's top dog working for one of America's oligarchs, and they chose a freaking triangle with a dot for their logo. You can't make this up. If that isn't enough to make your conspiracy alarms go off, Groundwork's parent company is called Timshel, a Hebrew word meaning you may. Timshel is devoting to helping humanity solve our most difficult social...
Holy shit, just say you don't like Jews. Like, look, I get it. You need to deliver it in this weird kind of like, oh, well, you know, let me connect the dots here and here. Just come out. Look, make it really easier for me. Just come out and say, hello, my name is, what is her name again? Let me look at her name. Just come out and say it like this. Hello, my name is Miss Herrenfest, and I do not like Jews. There, I saved you 3 minutes. I don't like Jews and Hillary Clinton. That's all she needed to say here. But no, she's gotta say, look at the triangle. See, it's a triangle. Therefore, it's Illuminati. And listen to this. That's some Hebrew. Jeez.
civic and humanitarian challenges. The guy who runs The Groundwork, Michael Slavey, said Tim Shell and The Groundwork are the same project with the same backers. So not only do they have an Illuminati logo, they also have backers who speak Hebrew. The Groundwork is physically tied to Clinton too, as it—
Holy shit. Backers who speak Hebrew. I mean, you couldn't get more blatant than that. Could you possibly get more blatant than that? Not only is the logo a triangle, but did you know their backers speak Hebrew? Holy shit. Again, you make my job a lot easier if you just say you don't like Jews. It's also a fucking triangle. A shape that, you know, is very CIA. I'm a funny guy, ain't I? Anyway, that's a... Let me finish the segment.
It started just a few blocks away from Clinton's Brooklyn campaign headquarters. If we learned nothing from the 2012 election, which, you know, we probably didn't, it's that technology can play a big part in how people vote. Some credit technology for at least 50% of Obama's margin of victory. Obama's campaign technologists built complex analytics models and algorithms and databases that all contributed to his victory. And the campaign's analytics chief said that the day after the election, Schmidt walked up to him and asked him, "Who are you and what algorithms are you using?" Clearly showing his interest in how to harness technology to win elections. To date, Schmidt has funded 3 startups run by ex-Obama staffers.
Okay. Were they Jews too? Okay, we're done with this. Holy shit, that's horrible.